Well, I was talking to you about doing a segment on 1-star reviews.
Yeah.
I'll come up with a funny name for that as well, maybe.
Yeah.
but what the point was, I mean, well, something I was saying to you this morning is that we don't always have to hide our 1-star reviews, you know, like, you know, first of all, if you're running a property management company, lettings company, you can probably get away with it if you're a sales company only, because, you know, like by not getting 1-star reviews. But if you're running a property management company, more than likely you'll get 1-star reviews, because there's two. I'm not saying all 1-star reviews, by the way. But you can't not get them, because you're trying to. There's two contradicting parties involved, right? The landlord and the tenant. A tenant might do something that upsets the landlord. Landlord will do something that upsets the tenant, and you're there to be unbiased and try and help both parties. But in several occasions, you're gonna do something. Yeah, you're gonna do something that upsets one of them, and that then leads to sometimes a 1-star review.
One of them will give you 1-star review, because one of them will be upset. They'll feel, because.
But then the other side will give you a 5-star review, right? Because they were happy with the service. But, you know, they're both online and they're both ultimately...
And they don't merge the reviews that they came from the same property.
No, you don't.
It's two separate... It seems like it's two separate occasions, yeah. So, there are a few. And the funny ones is, you know, the 1-star reviews, some of them, it's just people, fake names and...
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's one thing. Something I wanted to make note about was that a lot of these aren't even real. Like, we've been through a lot of ours. I'm not saying that they're 100% fake, all of them. No. There's some that probably are real, but when you're, let's just say if you're making a lot of noise in the industry, you get people, you know, getting upset, and should I say upset, or it's just jealousy or whatever it is. But I know there's definitely a high portion of those that are fake reviews. Yeah. But like I said, I'm not gonna say they're all fake reviews, but I've got some funny ones, man. I'll read one first. I'm not gonna read all of it, but I know you've got experience in this one, because your name's actually
which one is that one?
And then I'm gonna explain why this is funny, because let me read some of it first. Wait, let me try it. So, I rented with City Realtor on June 2022. I paid a £1,900 deposit, which was supposed to be protected. At the end of the tenancy, the landlord and it actually says the property, by the way, refused to refund the deposit. First, she wanted to make some deductions, but she never reimbursed the difference, which was £1,200. Never. City Realtor did not help at all. They said that I should just speak with the thief landlord, and they washed their hands. Enough, even though this lady did not protect my deposit, and with proof of it. I'm not going to go into this. It's a really long one. At the end, there's an edit, and it says,
oh, I know which one.
Yeah. You know, and it basically it names you, saying that you know,
I rented it to them.
That you rented it. Yeah. But
disclaimer,
do you know which property it is?
I never rented. Yeah, I know which one.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't rent that property to them either. That's the funny.
Yeah, you didn't actually. Yeah, I remember who it was actually. But so let's give this some. Give this some context. This was a let only.
Yeah.
Right. This was a let only, which means that we introduce the tenants, we find the tenants, we reference them, we do the contracts, all that stuff, and then we introduce them to the landlord. From the point of them moving into the property, you know, this no longer our problem anymore. Not problem, but it's no longer our issues any of it. Like, we've done our bit, right? Landlord pays us for our involvement in the scenario, and then it's a relationship between the landlord and the tenant direct.
And we would have done our checks. We would have done our checks with the landlords to make that they own the property and they're legitimate. We do our reference checks to the tenants to say that they pass, and we're not just putting any Tom, Dick, and Harry into the property. So we would have done our bits on both ends.
Yeah. There's due diligence on both sides.
Definitely done. Yeah.
And at the end of that tenancy, that.
Thanks to her, because I think she must have given the landlord such a hard time. The landlord decided to.
Oh, is that what happened?
Give us the next tenancy as a management.
Okay, yeah. Oh, right. That's what happened. Because at the end, basically, she's saying, "Oh, City Realtor lied because saying that it wasn't. They're not managing it because now I found it on their website and they're advertising it." Which is, yes, we work on behalf on instruction of the landlord. But your problem that you're having with the landlord, it's not our problem, because we're not involved. We wasn't managing it at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it started off as a let only. they give the landlady such a hard time that landlady came to us on the second one. But when they left, the landlady, I don't know if she protected the deposit. It says that she didn't. I don't. It wasn't our job to check.
Yeah.
When we transfer over the deposit fully to the landlord so that they can protect it. That's how it works on a let only service, right? Now we have to, because the landlord doesn't have a website, right?
Yeah.
We have to get a Google review of a 1-star. I found that quite funny.
And
I mean, it's annoying, very annoying.
And the funny thing is, another agent I used to work as a tutor rented it to them. So they went onto the website, they saw my picture, and said I look like him. And basically said I rented it to them when
it wasn't even you.
Yeah, I look nothing like him. So that's it.
But
I mean, I want to touch upon that a little bit actually, in the sense that I think what tenants need to remember is that, or even landlords need to remember is that, you know, when we manage a property, we don't just manage in terms of we just organize stuff. There's an element of dealing with everyone individually. We deal with the landlords in a certain way, we deal with tenants in a certain way, and we're like, you know, making it all happen. What I mean by that is now if the landlord's managing a property with the tenant, they will clash, and they can clash a lot of the times because they have experience in managing people. Management isn't just managing the property, it's managing the people, it's managing the builders and managing everyone around it. So when sometimes landlords come back to saying, oh, that tenant wasn't a good tenant. No, that tenant would have been a good tenant if you know how to manage.
You don't know how to deal with it.
You don't know how to deal with it, because dealing with it is, you know, responding correctly, seeing them in person, making those visits, you know, understanding the issue. But if you're a landlord and it's your property and it's your rental, understandably you have a personal attachment to it, so you take things a bit more personally. Where we're in the middle, we don't take things personally, so we can deal with it better.
It's a professional relationship, you know. I said that in one of my other videos actually, but there's a let that you did recently. This time it was you. But the landlady called me afterwards and was like, you know, who did you put here? They're so picky. They do this, and I'm like thinking they're not picky, you know. Like, and it came to a point where I have to stop taking her calls because it's a let only service. There's only so much, you know. If you want me to manage it, you know, let's come on as a managed landlord. But she doesn't know how to deal with tenants. But she wants to self-manage. You know, they don't want to pay for the management aspect of it. Tenants got legitimate things that they've got issue with. You know, windows doesn't close properly. That's a problem, isn't it? So there's a washing machine not working. These are just everyday problems
that you have to deal with.
What does a landlord? I mean, I'll tell you something. The landlord always say, "I lived there for 10 years. It never happened to me." You know, first of all, you're probably okay with it. You probably didn't had an issue, but you just didn't, you know, it didn't cause so much of an issue.
Probably the same washing machine from 10 years ago. Number one issue.
That's the other thing. Everything has a lifespan, you know, like, you know, washing machines aren't made to live for 50 years.
And sometimes I think the easiest way to look at it is you just have to trust a professional. So if you don't believe that it's not working, it's fixable, send someone out there. Let them make that decision. And someone that does washing machine, if they say it's broken or it's end of life, then let them decide that. You can't fight everyone. You got to take some step back. But yeah, the main thing is, you know, we manage it, and we don't just manage your property, we manage everything around it. And I think that's...
I think I want you to read this one. I found it quite funny.
Oh, this one. It's funny because of who they said. So... the person that wrote the review's name is R. A woman called Yin laughed at me on the phone. I am autistic and struggle with social skills, and she laughed at me because of it. So rude, and it has really upset me.
You know what? I forgot that the person. I didn't fully read it before I screenshotted it. I forgot that word. So this could just be a misunderstanding, by the way. It says they're autistic. I didn't read it fully. I just remembered it because it said Yin on it. But the reason we found it funny is because it's Yin, right?
It's Yin. Yeah,
the nicest person in the world. She's like, she wouldn't be laughing at you on the phone, right?
She'll never.
If it really is a person who has autism, you know, I didn't want to put that on blast, but it's on Google. Everybody can see it.
Yeah.
But you know, if you did think that she wasn't doing it on purpose, 100% she wasn't doing it. Like I'm saying, she's our head administrator. She runs the office, but she's the office manager. She is not laughing at you on purpose anyway.
Yeah, a bit of background about Yin as well is every landlord says hi to Yin and never to me.
Yeah.
You see, the point is they know who Yin is. They see the email trail. When they meet in the office, they know how nice she is. And
super meticulous. You know, that's probably one thing they like about her, because, you know, she's always on top of everything.
Yeah,
but very polite. That's the thing. That's like, she's super polite. She knows how to deal with her, like, for someone that's soft-mannered as well, like, you know, somebody comes through the door with a, effing and blinding, got issues with it, she knows how to deal with them.
Yeah.
She's never, like have, raising her voice even. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so, whoever that was.
And I think another thing for people, obviously the person who read that must have misunderstood. There was misunderstanding, but anyone reading that, I think it's good to understand is someone that has, she said she has, that person said they have
Autism,
They have autism. I'm not too familiar with it, but it's not something I don't think you can recognize over the phone.
Yeah.
It was a phone conversation.
Yeah.
I think something to take into consideration. There's a lot of misunderstandings when you have phone conversations.
Yeah.
How do we deal with most of our problems? In person. That's my way forward. If there's any issues, I take the property manager, we go to the property, we deal with tenants in person because it's so much easier. You can see the person's actual reaction to it, so there's no misunderstandings in person.
Yeah.
And
the other thing is, I was like sifting through a lot of these reviews. And to give context, I think we've got like over 500 reviews probably. I don't know, like quite a lot of reviews anyway. So and majority aren't 1 star. They're just the funny ones that I thought I'd pick out. But there's a trend of the fake ones. The ones there's some that I recognize the name. I checked it against the CRM to see if they're real, and then they've got like RR, like this one. Yeah, I feel like this one's not real. By the way, firstly, Yin wouldn't laugh at you on the phone.
And, she would never laugh at you.
No, do you see what I mean? We've worked with her so many years. She's never done something like that. And secondly, there's a lot of those like BB. Another one is fake. Look, don't go. Not professional. And an agency to avoid. And then there's an edit. I'm a real person who have interacted with the obnoxious city realtor. The issue was during an interaction with you. I won't complain to you about you. Why not? Why wouldn't you complain to us about us?
Yeah.
There's certain people that run the company, there's certain people that own it. Maybe you need to kind of get to the bottom of it, complain to whoever. Anyway, I warn people about avoid wasting time. Anyway, this one's a fake one, I can tell. You see what I mean? And again, it's that BB, it's RR, whatever it is. Anyway, listen, stop it. You can continue giving us fake 1-star reviews, right? It doesn't stop anything. We're going to continue doing what we're doing. Ultimately, your reputation speaks louder than just the Google reviews. Most of our business has come not through, any form like formal advertising anyway. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, people are going to do things to hurt your brand.
And remember, we're part of the governing bodies. We get audited.
Yeah.
They'll come, they audit us. We do things correctly, so we can't step out of line or do anything out of line because we get. Like I said,
someone will intervene.
Yeah,
if someone really had a real issue, let's say if it was with a deposit. So in that case, that woman saying that landlord didn't have a deposit protection, you've got such a strong case.
Yeah.
All you have to do is go and report it.
If I was in that position, I'm winning.
Yeah. You don't have to bloody complain about us. You just go and you probably you get your full deposit back.
And I think 3 times.
3 times your full deposit, right? There you go. So I don't know what they're complaining about.
And you get your deposit back.
Yeah. Oh, on top, yeah.
Yeah, you get your deposit
You got
back.
deposit plus times 3.
3 times.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So she's like 5-6 grand up.
Yeah, I don't know what she's complaining about.
Yeah, I will take that.
Yeah, and then if we've done something wrong, like you said, you can go to the property ombudsman, TPO.
Yeah.
You can go to Property Mark. Yeah, we're under a lot of bodies that So if you really felt like you've been hard done by,
and remember, you choose to be under these. It's not an automatic. You get in. No, you choose, and the reason why we choose to be under these is because we know we do things correctly and
nothing to hide.
Nothing to hide with the correct intentions, and
you're ALA regulated as well. You're an ALA agent, is that, aren't you?
Yeah. So I've done my exams, and
which is very rare. Go down like most of your high streets, nobody's got Allah,
No. And if they do, it's those that are really high up, like your
directors, founders, and those guys. Yeah,
I think I got it when I was just a normal lanes agent, wasn't it? A couple of years ago.
So just go. Going back to the review thing, like, there's a lot of things that you can do before you go and give a review. Yeah. But like I said at the beginning, you can't. If you're running an agency like that, you're bound to get it from one end or the other.
Definitely.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, especially when you have two parties that you have to deal with, and one person's always going to lose.
Yeah.
So that's just
So that concludes that segment, and I don't know. I'll look through and see how long we can do this. I mean, one-star reviews are going to run out at some point. You see what I mean? So,
and don't start doing some funny ones just to get us to read them or something like that.
yeah. You know what? I don't want to start something that that I'm going to regret actually. But yeah, I mean, I think that brings us to the end. Is there anything else you wanted to discuss before we go?
No, just let us know what you'd want us to discuss about. I think,
Yeah.
personally, I always wanted to know how to buy your first property when I was looking to buy.
Yeah.
I feel like hopefully that was quite useful. If you want
Yeah.
to go in more depth, just ask them.
Yeah, I think maybe we can go in a bit more depth
Yeah,
about
yeah.
like how to choose a good mortgage broker, how to choose the right solicitor. We didn't really go into it that much. Maybe we'll do that next time.
Don't
But-
go for an online solicitor. I'll just say that before you go.
Yeah, you go.
I made that mistake.
Yeah. Don't go for, especially they're usually £400.
500, yeah.
You need to pay for a proper solicitor. There's that you're buying a one of the most expensive assets you're going to buy. You know, pay for a good solicitor. Anyway, that concludes today's episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.